Now boarding for Rebuild of JoyCast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
Welcome back to JoyCast, everybody. How are we doing,
It's more like the newscast. We're gonna come back to our Saturday jump roots and kind of like react to. There was a lot of news that happened like at the very beginning of this week in regards to manga. And there's also other anime-related news we want to address, even though we're kind of behind on that. But it's worth discussing on our end. But let's start. Let's just jump right into it. Yoshihiro Togashi, Hunter Hunter's mangaka, is coming back, Val.
For how long?
Exactly right. It's like I want to be optimistic here. You
and I have literally said the other week, not even that long ago, that neither of us can be bothered with Hunter Hunter at this stage.
Right? Yeah, and I agree, but that doesn't stop him from opening up a Twitter account and getting nearly 2 million followers in the first day. Val, it doesn't matter what we feel about Hunter Hunter. The world wants more Hunter Hunter, and they shall get it. I am happy for everyone involved. I'm just concerned, because the last time we left Togashi, dude wasn't doing too well.
No, he has a lot of health problems, doesn't he?
It's a lot of health problems. But it's been nearly 5 years since the last chapter. So apparently things changed.
No, it has not.
It's been nearly 5 years, Val.
I call that can't be. No.
Yes.
I remember it was not that long ago even. I was speaking with people that I no longer speak to or anything. Oh my god, it has nearly been 5 years.
Nearly 5 years. So the man has apparently rested enough. I hope that's the case. The optimist in me says that he has struck some sort of deal with Shonen where he will just make as many chapters as he feels like and fucks off. I think we're getting one chapter a month and maybe a volume's worth, and I think he'll take more time off and then do that again on repeat.
I certainly hope that is the case, but frankly, it's like, does the man have what it takes anymore?
Like I said, between health problems, between desire, between the current state of Shonen Jump, well, he's pre-planning chapters. On Twitter, he mentioned he had 4 chapters ready. So we know we're getting at least 4 chapters. But to me, it's the fact that it's the current state of things. I don't think Shonen's gonna let him do much, if at all. I think they're gonna let him pace himself. As they should, as I think is reasonable.
I mean, how old is he now? Like 70?
I mean, he ain't that old. What the fuck?
He ain't that old, are you sure? He's like, been doing it for a while.
I mean, yeah, but what's a while? A while is relative, man. He's not 70.
No, you're right, he's 56. What the fuck? Why was I, certain he was, 70 or something? Probably because he married the woman who made, I don't know.
Sailor Moon, yes.
Yeah, he married the woman who did Sailor Moon. I know it's if he dies, she's gonna finish it, supposedly.
Well, she was working on it, was the thing. Naoko Takeuchi. She was, that was the last time we left Togashi-sensei. It was his back was fucked up. He was basically dying, and she was basically drawing it for him.
That is probably why I had the impression that he was 70, just because of the fact that everyone talking about his physical health, and I was like,
I mean, perhaps physically maybe he is. Maybe manga has aged him that much. I don't know, but he seems like he's very excited to get back into it. So I hope he's doing well. I really hope he's doing well, and I hope he's really gonna bring it.
Well, of course I hope he's doing well. I mean, I've never been one to be I hope people I don't know are getting fucked up or anything, but it's one of those things where I just specifically remember last time he released a chapter, people complained because literally he had empty panels with writing because he was just, expositing dialogue, basically.
Exactly.
Explaining the rules of these new powers or something like that.
Yeah, Dororo was getting a little nervous when they were conceiving that. That's back when he was probably just doing his pitch. He's like, alright, so I'm gonna do just paragraphs in the panels instead of actual art. And they're like, oh, Togashi's already doing that right now.
Yeah, no, it's that's why I'm is it really a good thing? Because I always thought Hunter x Hunter was one of those things where people kind of said, oh, it unofficially ended a while ago because Gon got what he wanted. There was all that, and then there was a shift of focus on Killua now. and everything going on there, and as far as I'm aware, like, you know, there were some cool things, but people weren't really meshing with it that well.
Because, and on top of things, probably Shonen's age, but no, but I mean, again, 2 million followers on Twitter. They're very passionate about this. He's got a reader base. Shonen's ready for this. I just feel like, I mean, I'm fucking nervous after Kentaro, and I think Shonen is as well, because we've seen them demonstrate their concern. A lot of manga in the past year have been getting some extra time off. They forced Black Clover's writer on an extended hiatus. He didn't want to go on hiatus, and they said, no, motherfucker, you're resting. So they're playing things very carefully, because they don't want the situation on their hands. So if Togashi feels this is right, and if Shonen feels this right, hell yeah, let's go. So that kind of segs into the cancelization of Ayashimon. A lot of people are blaming Hunter x Hunter for Ayashimon getting canceled, which I think is bullshit. Guys, that's not how this happens. Shonen, lots of manga getting canceled is very common on Shonen. This is not a new thing. You're just more aware of it now.
I'm curious, what note did it end on? Like, have you read it?
I read the second to last chapter, because so our Discord members brought it to our attention. They said, hey, does this look familiar? And they did a meta chapter like Hunter's Guild did, where it starts talking about manga writing and storytelling, and I'm like, ooh, this feels very defeatist. This might be the end. And everyone's like, nah, it felt pretty cool. And then sure as shit, days later, Ayashimon confirmed canceled. The chapter coming out right now as we're recording is the end. It's going down. So I haven't read it, but it's ended.
I mean, now I don't want to say I'm glad and everything, I'm just more like...
You were defending it when it first came out, remember that?
Yeah, well, I was defending both of them, because you were being a tyrant, being like, Duran, fucking piece of shit, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, no, leave them alone. They haven't done, they're new, they might pick up, please, give them a chance. And you're like, fuck you, and you backhanded me to the ground.
Ayashimon had good art. Ayashimon had great art, and had a lot of promise. But my biggest problem with it, because we're not gonna keep talking about Doron, okay? It's a fucking dead horse.
I get it, Ivan. Pie charts, the police are evil. I get it. I've heard it all.
But Ayashimon is the fact that was not a protagonist. That was an elevator pitch. All right, you leave your pitch in the elevator. Goku does not aspire to be Jotaro. Deku is not a Naruto fanboy. Stop it or go write a fucking parody, okay? Enough of this. I'm tired of this, and now that they're doing this meta shit now, I am gonna go back and now freaking criticize Hunter's Guild.
Oh.
I don't like that. I don't like this now. Is this the new trend where your manga's getting axed and now you throw a hissy fit and start being meta and think you're fucking smart and brilliant? No, go write a parody. Stop it. You're writing an original story. You are on Shonen Jump. That is a fucking privilege. No matter how long you last there, all right? I'm tired of it. I've seen it twice now, and now I'm tired of it.
No, I can appreciate that. Yeah, no, because I remember thinking, like, the Hunters Guild thing wasn't spiteful, but I did feel like, to a degree, it was kind of...
At the moment, because he was the first to do it in a long time.
Okay, I gotta say, I'm sure he's not.
No, he's not the first.
Yeah.
No, not the first, but I said the first in recent memory to pull that little stunt. So it was funny and interesting, because we knew for a long time it was going down. Like, basically, like 5 chapters in, we knew it was getting axed. Whereas Ayashimon, nobody knew until, like, just a couple days ago, after they did the meta shit. So it feels like this was a very sudden thing, and because of how sudden it was, because the news came out at the exact same time as Hunter x Hunter, there's this conspiracy theory now that they canceled Ayashimon to make room for Hunter x Hunter, and it's like, no! There's a new one, Area Alien. There's a bunch of new shit already coming out already. Like, that's just the way Shonen is, because in the current, very recently, yes, there are been a lot of cancellations, but we have periods like that all the time. And because it's so normalized now, it makes sense, because Shonen's biggest competition right now is itself. We talked about the zombie series last week. That's a very important thing, as is Jump Plus.
We're talking fucking zombie death, whatever it's...
The term was coined by Super Eye Patch Wolf, and we've been running with it. It's called a zombie series, when it ends and its sales are even better than it was to start, and it's even better than active manga currently running, and to the point where Shonen actually has to compare. We discussed this last week, but more importantly, more relevantly, it's Jump Plus is the one that's really spooking them.
Do you mean like how like Demon Slayer ended and yet it's still like getting loads
Yes.
of freaking sales?
The
and
fact
everything?
that Demon Slayer is done and it's still selling better than One Piece.
Yeah. No, that's crazy, God.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. But yeah, we've already talked at length of this last week. Jump's biggest competition is itself. So if someone is lagging even slightly behind, they're gonna be fucking ruthless about it. This was always a ruthless magazine, and even more so now, because it also has a digital sister company that is kicking its ass. So it's looking at those numbers and going, we don't even have to put this to print and make more money. So you really gotta justify yourself on the page now. If we're wasting ink on you, you better bring it.
I really would say it's kind of an unfair comparison because the Jump Plus and everything, that's like...
It's very unfair because accessibility is a very key
like,
factor.
We can access Jump Plus and add to that shit.
Yeah, it's
basically.
very... And they are forced to consider the international market thanks to Jump Plus. And that's what's going on. And basically, what we've been begging for years is for the international market to start influencing the main magazine. And we might be seeing it finally. Where they're like, no one gives a fuck about this yokai shit. We might finally be seeing the death of the Demon Slayer trope that was like rehashed. Because you can't say Demon Slayer was a wholly original concept, but it reinvented the wheel is what it did.
I literally didn't read Demon Slayer because I opened it and went, yeah, I can already see everything that's
at
going to
face
happen.
value, but it's got a lot of
I'm sure it does.
Man. It's a little Rocky Balboa of an anime, and so it deserves its praise.
My Demon Hunter manga was Chainsaw Man. It was fucking Chainsaw Man.
That's another Rocky too. And Chainsaw Man, I think Chainsaw Man is actually going to Jump Plus. I am fairly certain.
Yeah.
Because again, international market. They're going, the Americans love this shit. And so they're like, okay, who has better access to that? Jump Plus does. So that's what people are begging for right now. People are hoping that the ones that are getting canceled are moving to Jump Plus. But I think they're comparing to Jump Plus and going, well, this wouldn't do well on Jump Plus, so why would we bother putting on our own magazine? So it's weird. It's very complicated. Even the factors that we're discussing right now are only a fraction of the factors that are in play that decide how these series go. There are many things we still don't understand, because that's effectively what happened to Hunter's Guild. It had everything going for it but sales, but there are things that are still selling worse than Hunter's Guild that are still running on Shonen Jump's main magazine. So it's a confluence of things. It's very complicated, but you can't help but speculate, especially with the big elephant in the room right now being Jump Plus. It's changing the rules right now.
I still think it's hard to compare them both, like, you know, to the magazine that is, like, pretty much exclusively published in Japan.
But Viz publishes in the West. And they take the best ones and they put it on Viz.com.
Oh, yeah,
that's how
sure.
we read Jump. So you can't, the future is digital. The magazine is practically half digital already. It is something to consider right now. As much as they drag their feet on it, Jump Plus is dragging them. Like, they are digging their feet in, and Jump Plus is going, sorry, but these are things you have to consider now. And we know this because they've already announced things switching over to Jump Plus. Most notably, Chainsaw Man. The fact that thing is so successful on print, and they're like, no, why even waste the money printing it now? We'll wait for volume sales, because Spy X Family and Kaiju number 8 are saying, well, you can go digital to start and then make more on volume sales. Someone in our Discord this week was like, you should read Jujutsu Kaisen, it's the top selling. I said, yo, by that metric, I'm already reading the top seller, Spy X Family. Give it a couple more months, it's going to eclipse everybody.
Pretty much.
It is doing so, and it makes sense. We have not had a proper discussion about the Spy X Family anime.
No, yeah.
And I want to briefly mention, because I really love the Dr.STONE manga, but I'm not a big fan of the anime.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other day.
The anime just kind of is more like it's not a motion manga. Like, Way of the House Husband is more like that, whatever that one's called.
Oh yeah, no, that's because the mangaka literally went, yeah, don't even animate it, and Netflix were like,
oh, thank God.
Thank God, oh, we don't have to
Yeah,
pay.
but in some ways, like, Stone Wars definitely improved upon the animation. And, I mean, thank God Toho produced the Dr. Stone anime, because in the hands of anyone else, that would be a disaster. Toho likes to give things budget, but even with that budget, Dr. Stone is really not designed to be animated. It is designed to look like a Greek sculpture.
It's drawn by fucking Boichi. It's like a berserk
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that
art.
Boichi's animation can't. Say Boichi.
No. I'm not saying that.
It can be animated.
It's like a berserk thing. I'm saying. It looks so good that if you animate it, obviously you got to apply motion, all that shit, so you can't be as detailed. You can't do that shit.
Well, I argue that the Golden Age arc and the movies look great.
I'm just saying, if you go back to the movie looks fine.
But yes, the manga is better than the animation. I agree, but this isn't just about the superiority of the page. I'm also discussing the fact that Dr. Stone just was not intended to be animated. It is intentionally, purposefully looks like Greek sculptures. They make a lot of Greek references. That is the point. They are the fact that they are petrified in statue, the point is things are supposed to be still. There's not a lot of proper kinetic energy to Dr. Stone. That's one of my complaints about the manga. It's very cluttered. It's very wordy. But thankfully it's not paragraphs. But everything is meant to look like a mural or a Greek statue. It's supposed to be frozen in time.
I was saying that
point.
in that respect, though, if it's something like talking, then if anything, wouldn't that be? It's like a, I don't know, it's like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 kind of thing. You know, there's not like there's good animation in it, but for the most part, the characters like aren't animated all the time.
No, yeah, here's the thing, because I know, as soon as I bring up Greek statues, I know JoJo was coming to play.
Yeah.
Nah, JoJo was meant to be animated, and not just animated. That thing was meant to be stylized. The color, the anime does such a great favor to. Again, if it was another studio, it never would have worked out. David Production understood the assignment.
The only thing I wish it had is alt color palette. I don't know, productions of the series.
Right, I agree with that too. But
No,
but
I would
getting
legitimately
tangenty
be happy, Ivan, if every episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure had like a different color palette too, or something like that.
It would be a little too much, but I definitely agree that arcs should have different color. If you're talking about, if there was a part that did that correctly, it was part 4. Part 4 really liked to play with the color a lot.
Yeah.
Of all of them, it played with the color the most, and that's what I like about it. Yeah, side tangent. I want to keep because we're discussing this because of Spy X Family. As long as it remains consistent, the Spy X Family anime is expounding upon the manga. It is adding in the best way. Because if you look back, I've been rereading the manga now. The manga, the early arcs, or the early chapters, are very rushed. Because again, it was Jump Plus. This was very early, young Jump Plus. It was very experimental. They were told to never feel, those writers were never told to feel safe and to not plan for the long haul. And it's funny because so they feel a bit rushed. And the best example is episode 5 in the anime, chapter I don't remember, but it's the castle. It's the big Lloyd Man saga that we call it now. In the manga, that's only like 5 panels. In the anime, it's like half and the main focus of an episode. And it's really good, and it's really fun, and it doesn't feel like filler. It's something you really want to see. And that's not the only example. Like, they definitely add more to these episodes. They let things linger just a little bit longer. You get a few extra lines of dialogue. You get to see the Forger family hang out and enjoy themselves just a little bit more. It's really well paced, and it still doesn't feel overlong. Like, they're doing such a great job. And this is also very topical because of Super Smartphone that I want to keep bringing up.
No, yeah.
The pacing, if I have one complaint right now about Super Smartphone, the pacing is very rushed right now. They just jumped into like the climax of a fucking raid right now, and it's literally the first panel of chapter 3, and it's like, whoa! That escalated very quickly. How the fuck did we get here? because it's doing a very bad job of me caring about the they're putting the supporting cast in danger right now, but I haven't been given enough time to care about them. So that's the biggest problem with smartphone right now. And I'm wondering that if this is successful, if it gives an anime, and God pray Toho gets its hands on it, is it gonna get a little more room to breathe?
I was gonna say, I think one of the things that actually brought down Hunter's Guild was probably its pacing. I really do think that a lot of these manga,
well, it was taking its time.
it took its fucking time with that werewolf fight, man.
It took its time, and then the moment it knew it was getting canceled, it just fucking sped up.
You have a gun, and it will shoot. This book gun, it's going to shoot my editor in the fucking face.
It's gonna shoot my editor face. His blood to spatter across the fucking windows of Shueisha. It's like, whoa!
Then no one will fuck with me.
No one will dare with me, assistant, fucking inker on My Hero Academia. Calm down, bro. Calm down. It's just a drawing. I'm actually angry for him though.
No, I know you are. You fucking loved that. You were so. I thought
Hunter's Guild was cool. I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm a bitch, and I somewhat enjoy your suffering, but like it was funny as fuck to me when.
It's
you
only
just
a true
turned
friend
around.
would.
It was just funny as fuck to me when you turned around like, it's fucking dead. And you told me about
you
how.
You won't see me throw a fit like that until fucking Yomi no Tsugai gets canceled.
Oh god, yeah. No, I didn't read that fucking chapter, actually. Even though I was already brought up. I was
You're
like,
not. Again, it's very Monster of the Week. You're not missing anything. It's just a very easy breezy read.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that last
still
chapter, last fucking month, God, it has been a while.
Actually, no. There is something worth discussing about Yomi Sky. The brother and sister have already reunited now.
Yeah.
They're already teamed up with the supposedly evil guys. That's my only confusion right now. Is now this one feels a bit rushed. Because I'm like, I thought we were going to have some foreplay here. I thought we were going to build to that reunion, and they just kind of went for it. So I'm a little bit concerned about Yomi Tsugai right now. Because I don't know how it's performing. I only have the jump numbers. I don't know how the other magazines do.
I'm admittedly no longer sure if she really went into Yomi no Tsugai with a plan.
With a long-term plan. I think she has a plan. I think she was also told to temper expectations.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling that, like...
I think modern manga, especially shonen genre, I think is told to live fast, to have a good time, not a long time. I think they're all living recklessly these days.
Only Hiromu Arakawa could make me, like, try and keep up with a monthly updating manga from release.
Exactly. I would never do this for anyone else besides, like, Vinland Saga.
How's that been going? Because that's in, like...
It's kind of spinning its wheels right now. They're kind of just chilling. Spoiler, they're in America right now.
Yeah.
And they're kind of just chilling. They're farming. It's another farmland saga is what it is. But now there's indigenous people, and they're pretty cool. And there's some tension there because they're kind of preparing for a bit of a collision.
Of course.
And it's supposed to be ending very soon, but I'm afraid they're gonna rush the ending. Because otherwise, it feels like My Hero Academia did at the end of last year, where they're just kind of biding their time, and then it's just gonna, like, explode at once. That's what it feels like. That being said, am I wholly satisfied with my Vinland Saga experience? Hell yeah. It is still one of my favorite things to read right now.
Good.
And that's all that matters.
I was trying to think what else was on the docket for a minute.
Oh yeah, so last week we talked about how Boichi does like a million projects at once, and we shouldn't like completely rule out why Dr. Stone ended.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, Inagaki fucking starts tweeting about the fact that Dr. Stone's not over.
Yeah, but you also said the other day, we briefly had that discussion where it's like, you're not sure if he's like referring to...
Yeah, so I'm speculating that he might be referring to the Ryusui tie-in special that's confirmed this summer. But don't put it past Shonen to greenlight spin-offs, because they did that. Or Dr. Stone had a spin-off that did very well. They called it a reboot episode of Ray or some shit. That robot AI, that space shuttle, one that was actually a lot of fun. I'm wondering if they're gonna do another one of those with a different artist, or if Boichi's like, oh yeah, I'm game for another one. Because again, that motherfucker is a busy bee. He has a lot of time, apparently.
I just really need to get into something new, because as you know, I dropped off. That's why I'm looking forward to the anime, because it's not that I can't be bothered to read it, but there were times where I was like...
at this point,
we've had
like,
this discussion. Dr. Stone went against what I feel like a manga should be. It should be like a 50-50 on like words and writing. I don't want to be bombarded with a million fucking words when I'm reading a manga.
Like, I will say, as much as I hate fucking expository manga, Dr. Stone really treads the line. It wasn't always like that. It was towards the end that this really, basically Corn City.
Post-Stone War. It was post-Stone War.
It was Corn City, because Treasure Island was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was Corn City onward where it started getting very wordy, and it was really treading the line.
Yeah.
And that's where I was kind of falling off Dr. Stone. And then I got excited again when, after the post Corn City War, where they teased like almost like a bit of a restart, and then they're like, nah, we're just gonna fucking
we're just gonna skip over the little fucking applehead girls like thing. I remember you telling me about
Suika,
that.
yeah, no, Suika, basically Suika got her time. She had a couple chapters to herself. It was afterward, we're like, okay, we're gonna kind of condense the cast, and like, nah, it's not that we're condensing the cast, it's like, it's just all Senku and his fucking space shuttle crew, and then even then we're not gonna focus on anything. We're not gonna enjoy this moon battle. It's just over, and it was really disappointing. So I'm hoping that the way that Spike's family has been expounding on the manga, I'm hoping that the Dr. Stone anime, if it gets that far, also expounds upon that final arc. I hope they give it a little more breathing room, because it deserves it. It was conceptually really cool.
I still think, like, when you told me about the way that Dr. Stone ended and everything, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like,
it was a huge bummer.
I was like, no, that feels like a fucking fever dream or something like that, the way it ended, where it's like fucking tiny, all the gauntlets or the Medusa things are just aliens or whatever.
But that was something that people theorized, speculated right from the very beginning. That it was an alien parasite.
Really? The parasite?
Yeah,
there's people
because Inagaki admitted, like, very early on in an interview, because he was subtweeting people, because a lot of mangas were like, I think he was actually subbing Horikoshi especially, where he's like, hey, just because someone guesses your ending doesn't mean you give up on it. Because again, like the Bakugo theorist in me, still believes that people guessed it and Horikoshi changed it. And Inagaki fucking subtweeted him on it. It was like, yo, just because people guess doesn't mean you give up on it. Yeah. He admitted that people guessed what the Medusas were. And he said, I'm not changing it. That's what I wanted.
I agree.
And conceptually, I think it's still amazing. It was just the fact that they rushed through it. But I think it was an amazing idea, and it tied very well with the themes of Dr. Stone. But they just didn't, like, give it time.
There's a lot of worry that One Piece is going to do that, because, like, obviously, such a big series, loads of people are going to be, like, making...
I don't think so. I don't think so. One Piece has lasted so long, of course someone has guessed it already. And I don't think Oda gives a fuck. Out of anybody, why would Oda care? Because it doesn't matter what because he's already stated this since, like, Sabaudi Archipelago. It doesn't matter what the One Piece is. It's the journey. And Oda definitely believes in his own philosophy in that regard.
See, I hope so, but I have heard, and it's one of those things where it's like, I hear so much stuff in One Piece that I'm like, is this a real thing? Because there are lots of things about One Piece that people think are real.
Or do you think or are you afraid it's inconsistent? You think that he never knew in the first place?
Oh, no, look, I'm not one of those people that tries to be like, Oda knew everything from the beginning. I don't believe that Haki was a thing from the start. People are all like, but Shanks scared off the sea monster. That means it's not like, no, it's an anime trope. That Haki
I agree that he wanted something and he was trying to work on it, but he never had a hard confirmed power. He didn't have his magical system confirmed until late in the game. And that's fine. When you're there that long, because if you go back to old interviews with Oda, he said that he had a plan. Like, One Piece was only supposed to be like 5 years.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Skypiea does feel like an endgame of sorts.
Yeah. No, yeah, dude. Skypiea.
The fact that it's become relevant now is why I believe One Piece is getting close to an ending. Because I feel like he had some ideas there and went, oh, this is gonna last a while.
Yeah, but it's the kind of ending. It's the kind of ending that all mangaka say is going to be, where it's like, we're an endgame, and it's going to be like another 5 years. And if we're talking about One Piece, that shit's going to be like another 10 years or something like that.
I don't know, man. How is Elbaf a filler arc? Is Elbaf just a better Long Ring Long Island? Is Elbaf Thriller Bark? You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
I feel like Elbaf is gonna be the fun one.
I feel like Elbaf is gonna be that one that might, like, push Luffy into, like, a territory. I want it to, because I want Luffy to be more complicated, probably.
Well, here's my theory, because I guess what, guys? It's One Piece podcast
God fucking
time.
damn it.
we try not to dedicate so much to One Piece,
But
you can't help it. Sorry, it's the fucking best one
Sorry,
out.
Ivan, we may as well just dedicate another podcast in the week to it.
To what? We can't. Poddcast already exists, alright?
I know.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone, alright?
I fucking love best guy ever.
I fucking love him. He's my favorite.
He is actually unabashedly one of my favorite content creators. I just wish he would.
I wish he did more. I wish he did more.
I know.
I mean, let's just say, like, I hate to be, like, fucking, like, a big narcissist, but he's literally, like, the JoyRide of Anitube. Like, he is so woefully unappreciated. That man busts his ass and does the coolest shit, and he gets so glazed over.
Remember when his fucking channel got hacked and was using it for some kind of, like, I don't know, scam or something like that for, like, months?
Yeah.
He has suffered. Quite frankly,
that man is a fucking martyr to the Anituber community. He's done nothing wrong and only suffered for it. But staying on
topic,
man.
Talk to the Final Fantasy fans. Talk to the Final Fantasy fans. They'll find.
Okay,
reason.
fine.
Go on.
Okay, fine. The Final Fantasy 6. What's the one that's trying to come out right now? My translator buddy.
Oh, Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, 16. Because there's another State of Play coming out. He's like, yo, where are my Final Fantasy 16 clowns?
No.
It's been years.
I'm more referring to the fact that he was like Final Fantasy 7 Remake, like in 2015. He was like, Final Fantasy 7 Remake is gonna fucking suck. I know it's gonna suck. Fuck all of you. And everyone was like, no, it's gonna be. I'm very ambivalent about that, but let's move on.
Yeah, but I want to stay on the topic. So again, theorize, because I didn't read this week's chapter, all right?
Okay.
But
Basically.
If Kaido doesn't get the fuck up and Wano is truly over, I think Luffy is finally acknowledged as an Emperor of the Sea. They've already been talking, like, basically around the world. They've already discussed Luffy. Like, they've discussed the possibility of him being Emperor.
They've been discussing that boy for years. They've been discussing that boy since
for years.
Alabasta.
I think he is hard confirmed. I think the next time we see a bounty or a newspaper clip of Luffy after this fight, Luffy is hard confirmed an Emperor of the Sea.
I would like to say so.
And if that's the case, I think now we need levity, because that's always the pacing of One Piece. So I think they go to Elbaf now. I think Luffy has such a big dick right now, he has to go to the Island of Giants now. And now we get to let Usopp have his arc.
Yeah.
I think it's time to have some fucking fun.
Well, here's how I think Elbaf's gonna go for one thing. I think Elbaf, personally, the Giants are very strict people. They got rules and stuff. And customs that they really respect.
Yeah, they got rules and customs, but going back, I always just, like, our best look at the Giants is always Little Garden. And they're always pretty fun fuckers, though.
Well, one of our best look at Giants is Big Mom's backstory.
True.
Where in their home, they're very respectful of their elders. They obviously have customs, everything like that. I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. But my theory is that Luffy is gonna piss off some giants. Because Luffy, as Sky Pier has shown us, doesn't really care much about people's, like, cultures that much. He really doesn't when you actually get down to it.
Luffy doesn't care about anything restrictive. It has rules. I get he's the force of freedom.
True.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
I think Big Mom escapes and goes to Elbaf.
I kind of think Big Mom should go into hiding for a bit, or, like, you know,
I
back.
think they finally settle things with her in Elbaf. I think she finally goes there, and we finally, like, get all her shit fucking sorted out, and they finally take her ass out.
You know, I've been wanting to bring this up for a while. You know what? I realized, so a lot of people in the One Piece fandom going on about bounties, and I can't disagree, but I've never been that into bounties as, like, a power scaling and everything like that. But I'm the
exact opposite. I like bounties, but not as power scaling, but as notoriety.
Yeah, no, notoriety.
I like the fact I like the way it's treated.
Oh yeah,
I think he does a great job at it.
But if you remember Jaya is great. I fucking love Jaya, but the worst thing Jaya did is that it actually made out bounties to be power scaling, because they were all like, "Well, Luffy's got a 30,000 bounty, and you've got like 15,000, Bellamy. What? You can't beat him." Or something. I can't remember.
But that's the way. Within that, they proved that system was bullshit. The fact that it's a system that is always in flux, and sometimes the bounties drop too. So like, and that arc talks about shit like that. The Bellamy is an actual criticism of power levels.
No, he isn't.
I think. No, because Bellamy takes it seriously. But I'm talking about from the outside.
Okay.
I'm talking about the theming. I think Oda designed Bellamy to make fun of power levels.
I disagree. I don't think that's
and
the
fact
case.
that people who care about power levels so much are gonna get their fucking asses whooped. It's like, yeah, they're there. You can look at them, but don't fucking take it seriously. Because just because you have a number in front of you doesn't mean that number is fucking accurate.
No.
Who
Okay,
cares?
let me say this. Here's what I think Jaya actually is. Jaya is that last point where those scraps of people from, say, the East Blue, where East Blue, we can definitely say is very different to Grand Line. East Blue had really brutal, pretty grounded characters. Some of them were pretty goofy. You know, you got like Don Krieg, man uses chemical warfare. Captain Kuro, he's got no mercy, treats his crew like shit. He will kill anyone. Stuff like that. Then you got like the outliers like Buggy, who is genuinely a comedic character with like that hint of like, you know, evil to him where he's like blowing up towns and shit like that. Jaya is that last point where you have those grounded, dirty characters who look like real fucking pirates, and then they say, no, Luffy is a real fucking pirate. These guys ain't shit. And then we go to the Grand Line where we have all these crazy, goofy, eccentric characters. That's what I'd say it is. Like, you know, you got like the dirty bar scene and everything, and Bellamy's like stabbing people over like card games and crap like that. It's like a really dirty, low-down place. And then we go to the Grand Line where everything's a little bit more big and like, you know, just crazy looking, cartoonish almost. Because the further we've gone into the Grand Line, the more like childlike things have gotten. Like the biggest example being Big Mom's country, where it's literally like an Alice in Wonderland thing. Everything has a face and a body, and yet it's like really evil. This is like the real shit that no one actually fucks with. You know, that's what I'd say that is. But I really do think, because I watched it recently, I know you did too, because if you watched Skypiea with Steena, I assume you watched Jaya with Steena, right?
Yes, that's where we started.
Yeah, of course. That's what I think is, because, like, everyone does go, well, Bellamy, you can't beat this guy. He's got this much of a bounty and everything like that, and you've got, like, this much, and then it's like, oh, well, Luffy has 100,000, that's why he can punch you out in a single hit. I don't think Jaya does anything to disprove the power scaling being bounties or anything like that. That's what I feel is wrong with that, because ever since then, I don't think there's ever been an example of someone who had like a lower bounty than Luffy or something like that being a big issue to him or anything. It's never gone against that, as far as I can like think.
It's fair enough. I just like I said, it definitely during Jaya, I can definitely see why they use that. But you just go further. Again, like right now, as you mentioned, you don't see Kaido and Big Mom flaunting their bounties. Bounties still exist, but you don't see that. It's always a pissing contest within the Straw Hats. It's always petty. It's always treated as a petty thing. That's what I talk about. It's always a petty thing. It's never a rewarded thing. Luffy doesn't exclaim, "Oh man, I've got $100 billion bounty."
No,
That's why I beat you.
He totally actually does. He totally goes, "Holy fucking shit!" That's why he cried at the end of Dressrosa. He was like, "It went down," and then it's like, "No, Luffy."
No. But that's why it's treated petty. He doesn't go to Doflamingo and go, "I have this much. That's why I beat you." But when it goes down, he fucking cries and acts like it's the end of the world because it's a petty thing. They make fun of it.
That's like two different things. That's like,
it's a marker of progress, but it's also a fucking joke. It's a very fun balancing act.
in those two instances, yeah, but you gotta compare the fact. You gotta like consider the fact that like saying that to Doflamingo means absolutely nothing. Saying it to his crewmates and everything, and making it a fun little competition on who has the highest one, especially where it's like for a bit, God fucking Usopp was like obviously the big thing. And it's like,
God, Usopp was amazing.
Yeah, Usopp had like I think Usopp has like one of the biggest bounties on the crew at this point.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's as high as like Zorro or anything.
No, but it's still fucking great.
Yeah, honestly, like the bounties are more like telling us like how the world sees them. It's like the absolute best example of usage with the bounties. Now, let's make this the last point, by the way, and get back to what the full thing, because God, I fucking love One Piece. But the most interesting use of bounties that they ever did was with Sanji after Dressrosa, where it was like wanted alive. That was like the best thing that they did.
That was awesome.
It was.
Yes, I agree. Again, like I said, so that's why I claim that the bounty system isn't some boring power level thing. It's used very effectively, mostly as a joke, but also as a fun marker progress.
Oh yeah,
also,
my point wasn't that.
But your point is too. It's also used. It's also a great piece of foreshadowing.
My complaint is how the fandom views bounties and how it's always like
the fandom's fucking stupid. What else is fucking
all
new?
fandoms are stupid.
It's yeah. So you're complaining about the fandom? Oh my god, water is wet, Val. The fans are fucking stupid.
No, I guess my point is more like, you know, I hate the people like. It's the usual that I freaking hate it when people. It's like Dragon Ball Z. I don't watch One Piece and go.
Oh my god!
Luffy
Speaking of Dragon Ball, you mentioned Dragon Ball, right? Oh my god, the fans are reeling right now.
Why?
Dragon Ball fucked up so fucking hard.
Why?
So,
what happened? In
Dragon Ball Super, they've been doing Bardock flashbacks. Bardock wished to one of the dragons. He wished on the Dragon Balls that that Goku would be fucking safe. So basically, he undid all of the tension in the past. Basically, Goku was wished to be invincible.
Wait, when? What?
Exactly. No,
you're
Dragon
confusion.
Ball
Wait.
Okay, so in Dragon Ball Super,
but they haven't made Super. Oh wait, the manga.
In the manga, the manga, Bardock wished on the Dragon Balls and like cryptically made his son invincible. They retroactively made Goku just a chosen one invincible motherfucker.
Hold on for a moment. Can I say this? I have always fucking said that the original father, like, you know, Bardock, like, father of Goku, OVA, or whatever, that released back ages ago now, was the actual perfect way to do Goku's fucking family backstory. I think you know this. I don't know if we've talked about it. I have never fucking liked Akira Toriyama's version of Goku's parents.
Here's the thing. I like Super Broly. I like that movie, and I think that does that well.
No, I liked it.
But the thing about Toriyama's take on Bardock is such utter hypocrisy, because he constantly talks about how he does not like how the anime treats Goku like a virtuous warrior, like a chosen one. He literally uses these terms. This describes his dissatisfaction with the anime, then proceeds to do it with Bardock and young Goku. He's a fucking hypocrite.
I really don't like that either.
I've been saying for years that Dragon Ball is fucking trash.
I prefer the version of fucking Bardock where he was like, looked at his son, what's his power scale? Whatever. I'm not gonna have to fucking deal with him or anything, because no Saiyan fucking does. That's why they're kind of a fucked up species and everything like that.
It's so unfortunate that Bardock had such a cool OVA, then proceeded to just fucking ruin. He is literally the source of everything that is now wrong with Dragon Ball, and always was wrong with it. He's just the channel, he's the avatar of Toriyama's just worst fucking decisions.
I agree.
I can't fucking stand it.
No, I completely fucking agree.
I always hated Dragon Ball, but now I have legit.
Well, no,
it's not even controversial
bullshit.
Anymore.
You've never always. No one has always hated Dragon Ball. No
I liked
one.
Dragon Ball Z when I was a fucking child.
I will press you to
And
the
then I
wall,
grew the
Ivan, with all
fuck
my
up.
strength, and I'll say, don't. I'll never let anyone say that they've always hated Dragon Ball. No one.
Here's the thing. I love the Broly movie. I love Super Broly. I love that. I will die on that hill. I think that movie's fucking fun. And I think that's what Dragon Ball's all about.
Even I'm not gonna say I always hated Dragon Ball Z. I hated Dragon Ball Z when I watched Full Metal Alchemist, and then I actually thought, wait a minute, that's a good story.
Yeah,
and this is
One Piece. Just show any fucking Dragon Ball fan One Piece and watch him just fucking burn.
Nah,
it's like a fucking vampire, like stake to the heart, like,
dude,
actual good storytelling.
It's the denial. It's the denial muscle, my friend. Everyone fucking has it, and Dragon Ball Z fans have a fucking strong one.
I don't know, man. This current development has been breaking some longtime fans. They are reeling right now.
I don't fucking.
They can no longer be in denial because it's so like unabashed. It's so clear cut that it's such bullshit.
I promise you. Then I promise you. They're either going to like cut that shit out or something like that. They're gonna be like, yeah, we're right. We're retconning that. We're not even gonna like put whatever this segment was in the volume versions of this. Yeah,
right.
Never mind. Or I don't even fucking know. I don't
actively keep up with Dragon Ball, but people brought that to me this week. They said, "Hey, take a look at this."
Well,
I was like,
if anything,
"What are you showing me right now?
Here's what it is.
What the fuck is this?"
Wait, no, Ivan, you haven't thought about this. There's two sides of this. There are the people who love Goku, but what is every Dragon Ball Z fan's actual favorite character? It's Vegeta. Everyone is just going to be going on about now how Vegeta has always been better, and this is just proof of it.
All the people are be apologizing to Vegeta now. It's amazing.
If anything, this is kind of bullshit because Goku has literally died in the series.
No, but he's come back though, Val. He's back.
Yeah, he's come back, and I find that annoying.
He's been dead several times, but that's the thing. Like, literally, you have to question anything that's ever happened to Goku now. Because the fact is, right as he currently stands, he's back. Bardock's father made a wish, so no matter how bad things got, Goku would always come back.
Wait, what fucking Dragon Balls did he even use?
Some space ones, because there's like
Some
a million
space ones?
There's a billion Dragon Balls now.
I really fucking hate this. It makes it even worse. It makes it even worse, Ivan. You've opened up a fucking can of worms. This is the fucking perfect example of why things need to fucking stop.
Yes, I agree. I hard agree. This is the reason why manga is generally better than American comics. Because they end before they get bad. And the problem is, you look at Naruto and Dragon Ball, when they keep existing, they just get worse. You gotta leave it alone.
No, I would at least say Naruto is like, kind of passed on the torch, and they're doing shit like Naruto's lost the nine-tailed fox now. Because everyone's like, oh, Naruto's gonna die. Which he still might, because they fucking implied it in the first chapter of Boruto.
He won't.
I don't fucking know. They might. I'd be okay with it if they did, but they killed off Kurama, and I remember even hearing about that and going, oh shit, that's actually a pretty good fucking move. But now I want to see what Naruto's story is of that, because now he's a normal fucking person, which he has never fucking been.
He'll get it back in the grand finale of Boruto.
I hope not, because I want things to be permanent in this shit. This is why Dragon Ball Z has never worked.
Yeah,
You've got MacGuffins that revive
it's
people.
It's not permanent unless it ends.
True.
It is not permanent until it fucking ends, and if you don't let it end, nothing is permanent. Spider-Man has died 1,000,000 times. Superman has died 1,000,000,000 times. Goku will keep dying and coming back and getting more privileges until the fucking heat death of the fucking universe.
You have no idea how accurate you were though a minute ago when you said that Bardock might actually be the core issue with like all of the problems that Toriyama has like added to Dragon Ball.
Yes,
this man
he's the
gone.
avatar. He's the avatar of Toriyama's decision. If Toriyama's worst decisions have a face, it's Bardock's.
Yeah, absolutely no, because he's gone from cold, veteran, semi kind of wanted to protect his fucking son and the planet a bit, but only because Frieza fucking backstabbed him, and then he
can't let it go. He cannot let go of the fact that somebody wrote Dragon Ball better than he did.
But it's even worse than that, Ivan.
Dragon Ball Z, the entire franchise sucks, and one OVA was better than anything he ever fucking did.
Bardock has done a million.
He never let that go. They listened to him bitch and moan and fucking subtweet the fucking anime, and they said, okay, Toriyama, we're gonna do it the way you want, and they did it, and he went, fuck, it's better than what I could do.
It's fucking sad, because Bardock has like 1,000,000 different origins on the way that he fucking, I don't know, was with Goku. He's a fucking family man at one point. He's wished on the Dragon Balls, obviously. He did the shit that he did in Broly, which was fine. That was like fine, I guess, but I still want the fucking original OVA. And he's gone back in time and shit and become the original Super Saiyan and fucking stuff. Do you remember that OVA? With the
I remember clearly, because that was before Super. That was a big, when that happened, that was a big deal.
That was back when Dragon Ball content, like when
They were just like little OVAs once in a while, and they were big events.
Yeah, and when like Battle of the Gods came out, even I was excited. Even I was like,
yes,
oh, that's
because it was like
cool.
it was like, wow, it's been how fucking long?
Yeah, and then 2015
Now
came.
It's Dragon Ball is the fucking Star Wars of fucking anime manga. You're so tired of it now. It's the NCIS of anime and manga. Like Star Wars is the NCIS of fucking quote-unquote cinema.
Law and Order fucking special victims
cool,
unit.
It's not interesting anymore. It's fucking
it's ridiculous.
Saturated.
Let's move. I'm Jeff. This is making me angry. Ivan, what do you think about the merger of Funimation and CrunchyRoll?
That's not the conversation I want to have.
Oh, okay.
Because that's happened. That's just business, alright? If you want to listen about monopolies, there's 1,000 YouTube videos you can listen to. But getting back right before we leave on the news train, because this is supposed to be the news train.
Yeah. No, good point.
So the news train is the fact that what is relevant right now is CrunchyRoll announced and has made a big point that they want to focus on in-studio talent.
Yes.
And that has caused a lot of controversy. But what doesn't cause controversy in the VA scene, all right? In the VA quote-unquote community.
I will say this. It has caused controversy with everywhere but Texas, where I would say anyone within the vicinity of the Texas is pretty fucking happy.
They've kept their... there are guys I know who are usually very vocal about things, have been surprisingly quiet on this issue, which I go, the boot tastes very nice when you are comfortably in between the little grooves in the boot.
That's the thing, though. It's one of those things where you shouldn't be mad at the Texas talent, but it is annoying.
You leave the Texas talent out of it, though. Don't leave them out of it. They were there. They're the ones putting their lives at risk still living in Texas, because my God, Texas is a fucking nightmare right now. We don't need to address the news. This is a perennial annual thing. Texas is a shithole. I have so many friends moving out of Texas right now because they just can't stand it. Even though their VA careers are doing just fine, they're like, fuck it, I got union work in Cali, I will work remotely, I can't stand it here. And that has nothing to do with anime, that is just Texas the way it's run. But getting back on topic, so what's going on? Why is CrunchyRoll doing this? Well, it's a monopoly. Who's challenging them? They can do whatever the fuck they want. Number 2, unions. They are avoiding unions because when you build widely like that, you get a lot of union talk. If you stay condensed and you stay in your right to work Texas, they can avoid union. It's unavoidable. Eventually, this will get unionized. That is the natural state of things. But right now, CrunchyRoll is going to avoid it for as long as they can. They are going to drag their heels on this. That's what they all do. That's what every company does.
There's also the fact of the matter where, frankly, we already know this, and we've known this for a long time. Funimation itself, obviously, very Texas-based company, they've got all their studios there, and they need to utilize those studios.
And they want to use it. That's what I'm getting to, because number 3, tax deductions. They got a brand new studio. It's smaller than the original studio, but it's brand new, it's clean, it looks nice. They need to justify their tax deductions on that. They can't justify the budget they put into that building and the tax deductions they demand if no one's using the fucking studio. So they're gonna use the studio. But now that gives me to point number 4. And this is where I need to tell all the VAs to fucking take a breath. This has to do with in-house productions. Only productions that are done in-house at CrunchyRoll. There are still subsidiaries, there are still outsourced studios that do not play by these rules. Val, you are literally, after this podcast, you are literally going to log off and go do more remote work for anime.
Yeah.
Because and you are a remote voice actor.
In fucking England.
In England. Why? Because you are a highly talented, very well networked, you keep your nose on the grindstone and you keep your fucking, and you just keep doing what you're doing, because this is not everyone's general rule. Just because Crunchyroll has a monopoly doesn't mean they are the only recording studio. It takes a lot of studios to be the monopoly. Crunchyroll is a corporation and they have one studio in their headquarters. but how many studios construct and dub the anime that you are currently watching? It's a lot of studios, and a lot of the studios still do remote work, and they do not follow Crunchyroll's policies. So, take a breath, everyone. Yes, a lot of work is definitely off the table, but it's not all gone, and things keep expanding. There are new studios popping up every fucking night.
Genuinely the
and they are
best
still
piece of advice,
doing
though.
remote work. And the newest studios are still pushing for remote work. It's the hot topic. They want it. But Val, yes, say your piece.
Genuinely the best piece of advice I can give anyone who actually watches this and, like, has that... It's funny, actually. I literally got asked on a YouTube, like, tutorial video on voice acting that I did 7 years ago. When I was like, thank you for the tutorial, I really want to get into voice acting. Someone said, how's it going? And I really thought about it, and I was like, it's actually going pretty great. It has gone great over the course of 7 years. But here's the best piece of advice I can offer anyone who watches this that has any interest in getting into voiceover. The American market is not the end. If you are, like me, in somewhere like England or anywhere in the fucking world, fact of the matter is, what you should concentrate on if you're really serious about this, it's the mistake I have made and I've learned from it, you need to work on building up a strong home market. Figure out who you need to talk to, what you need to do, concentrate on the home, do jobs at home, because guess what? That's where you live, that's going to be the best stuff, and frankly, America, Texas, a lot of these things, you're not really cared about. I've only realized recently I have been kind of at a disadvantage for a really long time when I realized, because I've been working for American companies pretty much exclusively, except for like a couple different ones in different countries. I've done very little work in England with this kind of thing. I'm kind of suffering for it, because it turns out there's paperwork that, frankly, when you're voicing for places out of the country that they're doing in, there's more paperwork, and those studios a lot of the time don't really want to bother with that. It's too much effort. Why go through more effort when they can easily just get someone else for way less work, basically? So seriously, if you're listening, again, if you want to get into voiceovers, concentrate on that home market. If you can branch out to places like America, that's great, because I've certainly done some pretty great stuff with that, but with the times are changing, again, 2020 to now, until like a month or two ago, was a golden age for remote recordings. Lots of people, as you know, Ivan, like myself, invested money in really top-notch home recording spaces, and it was pretty freaking great for a bit. But the ride is kind of dying down.
It's kind of over, but also on top of that, something people who are trying to do home studios, the standards are higher than ever.
Oh yeah.
Like that's something I should say. Like, people talked about how remote recording made things more accessible. It even the playing field. I don't think so. Briefly, it did when they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and then when Sony was giving out their cheap little packs to make sure My Hero Academia was still going.
Yeah.
But now that things have calmed down and remote recording is still happening, the standards for remote recording are fucking ridiculous. They are I've seen clients who ask for home studios that are more expensive and more airtight than actual studios. A lot of my voice acting buddies will also agree on that the standards for remote recording are actually higher. So again, even because Val's talking about in his home country, a lot of Americans who are remote are complaining about this. Americans too. Focus on your home market. Radio, advertising, marketing.
Shit that you wouldn't think of.
That you don't think, because anime is so popular. Like, I understand
Massive.
the sheer popularity of anime and the booming industry that it is. It pays the least. We cannot stress this enough, that it is fucking pennies and pizza money in the anime industry. Until it gets properly unionized, that's the way it's gonna be. But if you actually want to make a fucking living in VO, genuinely, focus on your home market. It will pay better. Be the big fish in the small... Right now, it is actually smarter to be the big fish in the small pond. You will get paid better. You will be the bastion of your little corner of the community.
I would definitely
It's
say,
better.
as you said, anime is majorly popular. Here's the thing, Twitter does not fucking matter. If you're a voice actor on Twitter,
embellishes.
it really seems like anime is like the big fucking thing. But I'm gonna tell you something.
Twitter and where the VA community congregates
Yeah.
the most, they really embellish how big they make anime feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I know so many voice actors who do get anime work who are still embarrassed to be associated with anime. They shouldn't be.
No.
And it's not because it's anime, but it's because the industry is unfortunately so cheap right now. They're like, why should I have pride in something that pays me so cheaply? And that is a fair concern to have. Versus, but that being said, people who do voice acting, and normally, very rarely, they do it because they love it. Basically, the people who do stick to anime exclusively do it because of pride. They love it. They love it. And that's why you got into it, Val. You fucking
Pretty much.
love anime. I love anime. But that being said, if you want to make a living and you're afraid for your opportunities in anime, you gotta understand that is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
There are vastly more opportunities and in industries that incorporate voiceover that take so much better care of their talent.
Literally,
and
we've said it
oftentimes
before.
can be funner.
I voiced in fucking a porn game. Like a $2 million budget Kickstarter porn game. You can look it up.
Yes!
It's called Subverse. I'm not going to go into how much they pay me. It's none of your business how much I got paid.
It's no one's business.
No one's fucking business. But let me tell you, I can
assume it's better though.
I got paid about 100% better than any anime recording that I've done.
Exponentially better. And that's what I was talking. So I was talking about the people who are embarrassed to say they're anime. So the people I know who are embarrassed to say they're an anime, they proudly proclaim they do porn.
Pretty much.
Because it pays better. Hey there, LeRoy here. Sorry to cut this episode short. We actually kept recording for some time after, but what we were discussing afterwards, after this point, is very private. It's very impolite to make that public. So we're to stop things here. Just to summarize our points. Remote recording opportunities have been reduced, but not by much. CrunchyRoll may be in the middle of establishing a duopoly, but there are still several studios who still offer opportunities for remote recording, and they are collaborators with CrunchyRoll. That being said, anime English dubbing is not the end-all be-all of your voice acting opportunities. You should also be looking at commercials, video games, Western animation, because not only are there a greater number of opportunities, most of them just pay better. That's just the way it currently is. Now, even though we were being a bit facetious and cracking some jokes in this discussion, we should hammer home the point that Val and I still very much love this industry. We are very passionate about it. That's why we bring it up. And that's why we also want to bring up some hard truths about it to you guys. That said, we are but one set of perspectives, one set of experiences about this industry. So only take what we say and equip it with your overall knowledge about the industry. Do not let it deter you. Stay passionate. Keep working towards it if this is something you want to do. And if you have more questions and you want to keep adding more knowledge about this to your equipment there, I highly recommend the Voice Acting Club Discord. There are tons of working professionals there who are happy to help. As always, thank you so much for listening. Take care.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, Paramedic. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as Ruby, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of JoyCast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Austin, Gooner Bear, and Fluffy Giggles McCool Kid. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.